everybody, I'm back again with another recap of 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. I am filming in a different space today just because, I don't know, I wanted to switch it up. So I moved from the back of the house to the front of the house. So it is finally fall down here in the sticks where I'm at, and you know, she probably won't be here for long. She just be playing around down here, but you know, it finally dropped below 70 degrees, and you know, it's put on your sweatshirt and get cozy and comfortable. So grab your cup of coffee, your cup of hot cocoa, your cup of tea, whatever it is that you like to drink that's warm. Put your favorite robe, blanket, slanket, whatever it is, sweatshirt, your boyfriend's old t-shirt, whatever it is that you want to wear, and get comfy and cozy because we're about to get into this tell-all right now. So first, I want to start off by saying that Sean Robinson did an outstanding job at this tell-all. Bravo, Sean, girl. Get your checks and do you. And don't let anybody tell you should be the host of the tell-alls anymore, because if TLC kept calling me and telling me to come back, you know what? I would give two dead flies what the people on Twitter said about me, and if they like me, I'm going to get my check. So Sean, keep on doing it as long as they'll have you. But let me just say, first of all, she looked amazing, and Sean is just one of those people who always looks good. I mean, she is probably 45, maybe 47, but she is just one of those women who has just aged well. She could pull off 31 easily. She's so beautiful. She had her red dress on ready for war. I mean, she looked amazing, looked flawless. She was coming with the facts, asking the right questions. She didn't let them run all over her. She was in control. I think that was the best tell-all that I have seen Sean host to date. And I'm not saying that I dislike Sean. I've never disliked her. But this was by far her best hosting job that I've seen. So kudos to you, Sean. You look good and you did a great job this time. So I'm just gonna go couple by couple, and then I'm gonna talk about kind of like the last couple minutes where they were all together at the very end. Hopefully it won't be too lengthy. I'm gonna just go ahead and start with Paul and Karine. So I really was surprised by Paul and Karine's segment because I thought it was gonna be boring because, of course, like I've said before, we already know that she's pregnant again with a new baby. And I knew that, you know, I could tell from the previews that that was their little buzzword for them is, oh, you've got some exciting news. And I was like, oh my God, we already know what it is. Like, they're gonna sit here and talk about this and we supposed to all act surprised like we didn't already know Karine was pregnant. And so I was just like not looking forward to them because I really thought it was gonna be boring, but they surprised me by bringing a little unwarranted drama. And so they're, you know, Paul's there and they're Skyping Karine in, and you know, they're all, I love you, baby, oh my God, me. And so, you know, of course, Sean announces that they have some news, and Karine says that she's pregnant, and, you know, everybody's like, okay, whatever, you know. And then, you know, Sean starts asking Paul about it, and Paul drops the bomb that he wants to get a DNA test for this baby. And I'm not surprised that Paul wants to get a DNA test because Paul made Karine take STD tests and pregnancy tests in the past because he doesn't trust her. It's clear that he does not trust her. He is a snooper. He clearly is always going through her phone, reading her messages. And he doesn't trust Karine as far as he can throw her. And he cannot throw her very far right now because her milk jugs are full and her belly is poking out, and he doesn't trust her, you know, hardly at all. So it was not shocking that he wants the DNA test. It was shocking that he said it right then. It was like Karine was thrown off. She started crying because she's like, dang, dude, what I gotta do for you to trust me? But as you know, I don't trust Karine either. So I don't really blame Paul for not trusting her. I think that she has something going on behind the scenes. Something is fishy with her. And if he's constantly finding messages from men that are of a romantic nature on her phone, or even if it's slight flirtation. Oh, honey, I gotta get my tea. Hold on just a second. So yeah, even if, you know, it's anything that she's doing that's questionable, like, you're married now. Like, you shouldn't really even be sending anything suggestive to any man. Like, if it's not about business or it's not family or something like that, like, there shouldn't be any kikiing with another man, I don't think, There shouldn't be any like, oh, you look good, show looking good, like putting heart eyes onto people's pictures and stuff. Like, that's kind of stuff she was doing, and then trying to act like it was innocent. I'm like, well, that might have been fine before y'all got married because you were still technically single, and I'm one of those single until you get married type people. Like, I believe that. I'm like, I'm single till somebody put a ring on his hand. Karine starts crying, and she just can't believe that Paul doesn't trust her, and he doesn't think the baby's his, and she's tired of him always talking bad about her and saying that she's doing bad things and child. And so Sean, you know, once again, Sean was on her job, so she just straight up asked Karine, girl, have you ever, since you've been with Paul, since y'all been married, since y'all been together, have you been communicating with men, like not just but in like a romantic way? Karine danced around the question. First of all, she did not answer the question. That is a simple yes or no question, Karine. You say, yes, I have, or no, I never have, and I can't believe he would accuse me of this. I have never cheated on him. I love my husband, and I'm faithful to him. That's how you answer that question. What did Karine do? She went all around the world and talked about how she can't believe how he don't trust her. I can't believe that he would be putting me through this again. I can't believe that he wants me to get a DNA test on our baby. But you didn't answer the question though. We asked you, have you ever cheated on him? And you couldn't give us a simple yes or no, but you had to go all around the world to not answer the question. That's suspicious to me. I don't trust Karine either, and I think Paul needs to get a DNA test on this baby. I think his motives are right. I think that he should be getting a DNA test for this baby. I think the way he went about it was all wrong. You do not drop the bomb on your wife that you want to get a DNA test on your baby while you're shooting a tell-all on a TV show. That's the worst place to do that. You tell her that in private at the house. Y'all fight it out on your own. We don't need to know about it. But he aired all their dirty laundry out on TV, which, I mean, it was good for us because it was a great TV moment. Terrible for a relationship. Like, that's awful, Paul. Don't ever, oh my God. He has no boundaries. But I was really surprised at that, and the fact that he just said that like it wasn't nothing, and then was shocked when she started crying and was trying to like make up to her right there and was like, oh, I love you. And she was not saying I love you back. She was pissed. And I don't blame her because that is embarrassing. Like, even if I was cheating, I'd still be embarrassed that he did that on TV. So I can see why Karine was mad. Paul, get the DNA test, but next time, keep it to yourself. Keep it at home. Tell her just between y'all privately. Don't tell it on TV. That's it for Paul and Karine. So let's move on to the next couple. All right, so next is Jon and Rachel. And so Jon and Rachel, really, there wasn't much that went on with them. The one thing that was of note was when Rachel and Jon were talking to Sean, and Sean was asking Jon about his temper and asking him if he had his temper under control. And Jon tried to prove that he had his temper under control by losing his temper. And it was very uncomfortable. You could see on Rachel's face that she was embarrassed of him. She looked ashamed of him when he started going off, calling people all kind of effing whatever he was saying. They had the words on the screen, but it was like blurred out. So I don't know, because you know, English people have different cuss words than we do. They say different things. But he was just cussing up a storm, calling folks effing I don't know what's and who whatsies and whatchamacallits and all of that. And Rachel looked mortified. Like, she was holding it together, but you could tell on the inside she was like, oh my God, please stop, like, be quiet. And Jon was just going on and on, talking about he will fight if he needs to, and he's a real man, and da 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 da. And I'm like, dude, calm down. Like, he clearly does not have his temper under control. He is clearly ready to fly off the handle at any point. It is on site with anybody who has anything to say about him and his family. And I don't mind him necessarily being defensive of his family, because he was saying people were talking about him because he wanted to raise another man's baby. And he was saying that he's a real man because he does that. I don't necessarily think you're a real man by doing that. I think it's a stand-up thing to do. It's stupid. But, you know, especially when the woman is pregnant while y'all are talking, that's a little shaky to me. If she already had the kid, you know, that's different. But I think the circumstances about which Rachel and Jon's relationship started are a little weird. But that's his choice, and he's standing by his wife and her child. And I think that's a stand-up thing to do. So the fact that he is defensive of the decision that he makes and how he loves Lucy and he loves Rachel, I think that's a good thing, but I think you can have a little too much of that. And I think Jon has a little too much of that. He takes it a little too far to the point where it's not just like, dude, you know, I don't care what you think. This is my wife. This is our baby. And, you know, I'm going to raise Lucy like she's mine and everybody else be darned. And that's great. But Jon is like, no, not everybody else be darned. Like, let's go. Like, let's go right now. Okay, you don't agree with me raising another man's baby? Okay, well, that means I need to whoop your behind to show you that I'm a real man. And that's why I'm taking care of this. Like, it don't take all that. Like, oh, simmer. It doesn't take all that to prove that you're a real man. And I don't know what Jon is compensating for. And I think it's because of his mental capacity. I don't know if the slowness causes him to not be able to process things in the right way, so that the only way he knows how to respond is through violence, or if he knows that he's a little bit slow and therefore he's trying to compensate for that by being like aggressive, like don't mess with me, like, you know, like I know I might be the slower person, but I'm not gonna be taken advantage of. He's compensating for something. I don't know what it is, but something is going on there, and I really think he needs to go to therapy. Like, he really needs to go to anger management. He really needs to go lay on somebody's sofa for an hour once a week on the same day. Like, he needs that. And I feel like he would never do that. And I don't necessarily think that he's going to do anything to Rachel or Lucy, because, you know, he's Captain Save-A-Hole. He caping for everybody. He thinks he's Batman. He literally thinks he's Batman. So I don't see him hurting his wife or his child, but he will hurt anybody who look at them funny. Like, you better not look towards Rachel's general direction or you gonna get it. I just hope she's not constantly like having to pull him up off of people and all kind of mess in their marriage. But that was it for Jon and Rachel. So let's move on to the next couple. Next is Ricky and Ximena. So in this episode, we found out that Ricky and Ximena are no longer engaged. First, let me just say that Ximena looked really nice when they Skyped her in. She looked beautiful. I was a little bit thrown off by her coloring. Her face was very pale and her skin had yellow undertones. So I think she needs to switch foundation. Her foundation was whiting her out, and she has yellow undertones in her skin. She needs a warm color, not a cool color. I think they had her on a cool tone and it was washing her out. But anyway, yeah, Ximena looked great. Ricky looked like Ricky, but yeah, basically Ximena is a woman scorned. I could feel the anger through the TV that she was, I was seeing Ximena through 2 TVs and I could still feel her anger. She was seething. She held her composure. She didn't act a fool, but you could tell it was just under the surface. She feels like Ricky wasted her time, and girl, I feel you, because I have had my time wasted before, and it really makes you want to go psycho. And like, men always wonder why women are crazy. And I'm like, for every crazy woman, everyone, there is a man somewhere. I don't know if it's her daddy, her boyfriend, her baby's father, her husband, her uncle, cousin, somewhere it's a man who made her that way. And they always want to act all confused when we go off and blow up and then we stab them or slash their tires or something. Because see, when you waste somebody's time like that, see, that makes you like, why did you come mess with me? You know, it's like he went there to meet Melissa. It didn't work out with Melissa. And so he called Ximena up. You came to me. I was minding my business. And here you come asking me to come to Medellin, so I came. And now come to find out you back with your ex. And that makes absolutely no sense. The story he told didn't make any sense, talking about it was because of his daughter. They played a clip of him and his daughter was saying she thought he was moving too fast. His daughter didn't want him to go to Colombia in the first place. She disapproved of the relationship with Melissa. So what makes you think she was going to approve of the relationship with Ximena that ended in an engagement after a week? You thought she was going to be cool with that? So the whole daughter thing was a farce to me. That didn't make any sense. Amber was never on board with none of this stuff Ricky was doing. So, I mean, he said that his ex was saying you don't want to have new mamas popping up here and there. But my thing is, you was all good with it. So your ex just told you one time you don't want to have a new mom for your daughter, do you? And you was like, yeah, you right. That doesn't make any sense. This man has always been with his wife. That's why his wife was texting Ximena talking about, he told me y'all weren't serious. I think him and his wife have maybe either one or two things. Him and his wife have an open relationship, as in they are married, but they are both free to date whoever they want to date outside of their marriage. Or two, Ricky is just a serial cheater and his wife has probably just either accepted it or they break up from time to time, but they always end up getting back together. That's the only two scenarios here. And Ricky just wanted to have a little fun and go meet somebody else. He tried, and I mean, they always probably end up getting back together. That's probably how their relationship is. They break up, they make up, they break up, they make up. So I'm thinking that he was never fully broken up with his ex-wife. A lot of men do that. They'll say, I'm separated, and then get a whole nother girlfriend. You thinking you with this man, and then all of a sudden he back with his wife. Like, yeah, that's what married people do. They break up for a little while. He move out the house for 6 months or a year, and then they get back together. A lot of married couples do that. And I feel sorry for Ximena that she was caught in the crossfire of his foolishness. She didn't deserve it. She seems like a lovely woman. She's pretty. She can get it, whatever man she wants. I think she should move on with her life. She said she doesn't even know where the ring is. She threw it out the window driving down the street or something. I'm like, well, it don't matter. It was cubic zirconia anyway. So best of luck to Ximena in her future endeavors, and Ricky and his wife can just go on somewhere. That's all I got to say about them, really. Yeah, let's move on to the next couple. Next is Tarik and Hazel. So Tarik and Hazel really confused me. I was about as confused with Tarik and Hazel as I usually am with Paul and Karine. There was some kind of pregnancy scare with Hazel, so they asked Tarik if he had been back to the Philippines to see Hazel since, you know, the first time, and he said he had. And on his second trip to the Philippines to go back and see Hazel, Hazel finally removed that nickel from between her knees, and her and Tarik had sex, and apparently Hazel thought that she was pregnant. I guess after Tarik left and came back, Hazel was late. Her monthly cycle was late, and she told Tarik that she thought she might be pregnant. She was having stomach pains. She went to Voodoo Mama Juju over around the corner, and she gave her some herbs and some tea or something and told her to drink this. It'll help your stomach cramps. But apparently Tarik Googled whatever Voodoo Mama Juju gave her, and it was something to terminate a pregnancy, like some, you know, witch doctor or, you know, Eastern medicine natural way to terminate a pregnancy. And he was mad because he thought that that's what Hazel was doing, trying to do behind his back without telling him. Apparently, no, it wasn't. She was just having cramps. Her cycle did come, and she's not pregnant. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't get that whole set. I didn't care. I guess because I didn't care. But it was just weird. It was confusing. And then I was like, oh, so y'all having sex now? And so we just gonna forget about them 5 hours of church and how Hazel loves the Lord so much. You know, Hazel really loved the Lord for one episode. Like, think about it. Think about the whole season. The entire season, right? How much did Hazel talk about God and her religion, her faith? That one episode where they went to church. Hazel didn't talk about the Lord no more after that. So I don't know. I think maybe the church thing is just something she does to appease her parents. Like, her parents are real into the church. She just goes because her parents go. And her parents probably want her to marry a Christian guy. So she trying, you know, she probably wanted to find one, but she didn't. So she was like, whatever. Anyway, I'm just saying, like, a real, like, super conservative, devout Christian girl would not have admitted to having sex with their boyfriend on national TV. She would have took that to the grave. I mean, I'm a virgin till I get pregnant. Like, that's how Christian girls are. Christian girls are virgins until there is further evidence. So the fact that she was so open about talking about their sex life on TV and about a pregnancy scare, Hazel loved the Lord for one episode. Dean in as well. And you know what? I'm having a hard time even remembering that whole conversation. Like, I don't really even remember what Dean said. I think Dean is still opposed to them being together. But I don't remember. I don't know what Dean was talking about. I honestly don't, y'all. I really didn't even care about their segment for it. It was kind of boring. Hazel's boring. And so I think when Hazel popped up on the screen and started talking, I just zoned out. I was gone. I don't remember what Dean said. I'm sorry. Somebody put down in the comments a point that Dean made so we can discuss it, because I honestly don't remember what he said. Like on my notes sheet, I literally have Dean and question mark because I don't remember. I don't remember what he said. But that was pretty much it for Tarik and Hazel. They tried, I think they just wanted Tarik and Hazel to have something to talk about in the tell-all, so they talked about this pregnancy scare because they don't have anything else to talk about. But she is, Tarik has started the K1 visa process for her, and so he's trying to get her over here. They asked her if she was going to be able to bring her son when she came. She said no. Hazel was given a lot of one-word answers in her usual fashion, and it didn't work in the tell-all. Like normally it works in the TV show because they can edit it, like they edit in her little one-word answers, but then there's like scenes with them together and stuff's going on. But when it's just literally an interview where it's him sitting on the couch and you Skyping in, you have to talk. And Hazel's like that, no, yes, no. Hazel, are you gonna bring your son to America when you come? No. Like, what am I watching? Like, I'm watching a girl on the TV screen get one-word answers? Like, this is not worth my time. So, Hazel's personality does not work on a tell-all. But, you know, it didn't work on a TV show, but it really did work in a tell-all. Freaking Hazel. So, let's move on to the next couple. So, next is Jesse and Darcey. So, in the tell-all, they brought Darcey out first. Darcey, I don't know what's going on with her hair situation. Her weave looked like a bird's nest. I think it was supposed to be like teased, but it just didn't look good. It just didn't look good at all. What can I say about Darcey? So her and Sean are chit-chatting, talking about her life since then, how she's been doing. She's like, you know, she's fine. She's stronger than ever, honey. She lost a couple pounds. She looks good, you know. And then they say, well, you know, Jesse's backstage. Of course, Jesse loved to jump a jet to America, honey. Jesse will jump a jet to the United States at a moment's notice. He can't wait to come over here. So Jesse's there. They bring him out. I don't know what was going on with Jesse. I think he's trying out makeup. But somebody needs to tell him, if you're gonna contour, you gotta learn how to blend, okay? He had so much dark around his foot. It literally looked like contour because it was in all the spots that you contour. It was like dark, dusty tan here, dark, dusty tan here. I'm like, and then like white around his eyes. I'm like, did you get the Donald Trump spray tan? Like, I don't know what was going on with Jesse's skin. His skin is already bad. He already has like cystic acne or like whatever those cratered holes in your, I don't know. Do you call that cystic acne? I don't know. He has the craters. And put spray tan on top of the craters. He looked a mess. His suit was, it was like that slim fit, but the pants were like just a hair too short. Like, I don't mind like a cropped pant leg, but when he sat down, I shouldn't be able to see your whole shin. Jesse, whatever. I'm done talking about him. So they sit on the couch and they start talking about the demise of their relationship. Of course, they start arguing because, honey, they cannot be around each other and not fuss and fight. They just can't do it. To discuss Ximena, Iko, and Karine, and you know, Darcey was basically saying that him and the kids had like a cordial relationship, like they were just cool, like they didn't like him, they didn't dislike him, they were just like whatever. And Darcey and Jesse disagreed. He thought that they had bonded. He thought they were close. I'm like, sir, you said over and over again you didn't want to be the stepfather, that you didn't, you know, you didn't feel comfortable being put in a position of like a father figure in their life. I guess he thought maybe they bonded on like a friendship level. I don't know, but apparently he's delusional because they showed a clip of Ximena, Iko, Karine, and Darcey going to get their nails done, and they were talking about how she deserves better, honey. Jesse's not the man for her. She needs to move on with her life. They love her. She their mama, and they always gonna love her. And then Darcey did the Kim K crying face, and it was just a mess. And so they showed, like, you know, they always have their face in the bottom of the screen like this. And when they showed the clip while Jesse's watching it, he was pissed. He was like, you could tell he was like bubbling up on the inside, but he was pissed that they didn't like him because that's that narcissistic nature in him. Like, everybody needs to like me. I'm a good guy. Like, if you don't like me, like, I'm mad that you think that I did something wrong. Like, that's that narcissist. So he's pissed that Ximena, Iko, and Karine did not like him like he thought they did, or I don't know what he thought happened. Honey, he was seething, and you know, he just was like, I'm just shocked. I thought that, you know, that we really bonded. And Then they get into, you know, Darcey and Stacey's fight and the domestic violence and Darcey's drinking. And of course, that's all Jesse has to throw at her. It's her fighting her sister and drinking her couple glasses of wine at dinner, because I don't think Darcey is an alcoholic. That's all he has about her throwing the shoes. She threw the shoes. She threw the shoes. She threw the shoes. She didn't threw, she threw. So I'm like, so Jesse, you from the islands now. You threw the shoes at me head. She threw the shoes upon me. She threw the shoes at me head, I almost died me. She threw the shoes at me. She threw shoes right at my head me. Me almost died. Me almost died when she threw the shoes at me. Stop bringing up them shoes, dude. Like, stop bringing up those shoes. But yeah, I mean, Jesse was being his typical diva self this episode. He got up and stormed off stage, but he didn't actually leave because, of course, he couldn't leave the spotlight. So he just got up and like walked a little bit off to the side. Sean was trying to diffuse the situation as best she could, but we all know when it comes to Jesse and Darcey, there is no diffusing the situation. Those two are just unhinged at all times. And so Jesse, you know, is convinced to come back and sits down. Sean asked Darcey about her love life now, and this girl literally sat there and said that she is seeing someone who is younger and from another country. And I almost cut my TV off at that point, because she just won't learn. She's just as bad as Molly. Like, her and Molly are the same. Like, you know how Molly, like, right after she got over all that crap with Luis, and then next thing we hear, she's talking to another young guy. It's like the same dude. It's like people are so, like, just a sum total of their habits a lot of the times. It's like they just repeat the same things because that's what's familiar to them. Darcey is hell-bent on holding on to her youth. She has a complex when it comes to getting older. I think she sees it as something that she is just trying to pump the brakes, stop the train. She's pulling the cord. She's getting off. She does not want to get older. She just can't. Like, I told her several times that she needs to get her like a 65-year-old, like, business tycoon, philanthropist, somebody with a lot of coin, who is just doesn't care. If she want to cut the steak on the bias, honey, she can cut the steak however she want. He not gonna say nothing. He just gonna buy her red bottoms and Gucci headbands and Chanel sunglasses. That's what she needs. A real laid back older man. But she just want to keep going back to these young guys. I just whatever, girl. Good luck to you. But that's it for Jesse and Darcey, so let's move on to the next couple. The last solo couple was Angela and Michael, and so they Skype Michael in, and of course the first thing that they talk about is Angela's money getting stolen. Then Angela clears it up and says that the bank said that there was an error, they gave her money back. But you know, TLC had to kind of keep us in suspense. They kept dropping little teaser commercials all week, making it look like, you know, they showed us was Angela storming off stage and Michael apologizing. So some people assumed that Michael admitted to taking the money, but he didn't. Sean asked him straight up, did he take her money? He said no, he didn't. What was funny, well, it wasn't even funny, this is just sad, was that they were showing that, you know, they always show the clips of the season, the recap, and they showed the confessional of, this was before Angela, this was like episode 1, like the first episode where, or maybe the second, where Michael calls Angela his elder. And when Angela heard this, honey, she was peed off. I mean, like fighting mad, because this man said that she was his elder. And he was basically saying, like, you know, she's my elder. I respect her so much because in my country, we respect our elders. Like, that's literally what he said. She takes her ring off, throws it on the table, says she's done. She ran backstage like Mari had just said, you are not the father. I really think she thought she was on Mari, because she was acting way more dramatic than was even remotely necessary for the situation and for what Michael said. Michael is sitting there looking his usual dumbfounded self when Angela starts going crazy over something minute. And, you know, she all backstage, like all deep backstage. That's what I thought she thought she was on Mari for real. Because she went outside almost. I don't know where Angela was. She was all backstage acting like she was going to collect her things. Finally, you know, Sean's just sitting there with Michael. They just sitting there looking stupid. So finally one of the producers says she's coming back in. She sits down and she says, nope, I'm done. Like, I just talked to you about this the other night. You know I'm sensitive about my age, blah, blah, blah. Michael's trying to apologize. He wiping his eyes with that little washcloth he be carrying around like he crying. He wasn't no tears coming out of his eyes. I think he was more shook that his American dream might be slipping away. But I think he almost didn't take Angela seriously, because how many times has he been through where Angela has blown up on him and said they were done and she didn't want him no more, and then they end up talking again? So I think he was kind of also chill at the fact that this is just how Angela is. But I'm seriously concerned about Angela's mental state. Like, after watching the tell-all as a whole, like, I'm concerned about her mind. She is very irrational. She comes up with things that don't make sense. First of all, this was before you and Michael even met when he called you his elder. You know y'all have a language barrier, and he didn't mean it. It's the same way with him calling you fat. I don't think he meant it in an offensive way. It's just how he speaks. He says it matter-of-factly. He meant it as a sign of respect, not an insult. And she's just taking it to heart way too deep. I mean, it's just too much. She's just doing too much. Like, her whole life is an episode of Mari, and it's too much. It's like, she exhausts me. I know a lot of y'all say y'all love Angela, that she make y'all laugh. She don't make me laugh. Like, I was not laughing that whole time I was watching that. She did not entertain me. I was not cracking up. I was literally concerned and wanted to be like, who hurt you? Like, that's what I want to know, Angela, baby girl. Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Why you got all this anger and rage in you? Anytime people have anger and rage and just jump out at a moment's notice, they hurting. Something happened. I don't know what happened to Angela in her life. I know she's had a rough life, but baby girl, her and Jon need to go lay on somebody's couch. They need therapy and counseling, because she was doing so many things that made absolutely no sense. Fast forward to the end where they have everybody on the couch all together and they're discussing Darcey and Jesse's relationship, and Rachel decides to pipe up and just basically say what we all been saying, like, y'all aren't good for each other, y'all need to go your separate ways, cut the ties, let it go. And then Angela jumps in and was like, well, you don't know their relationship. And she was like, okay, well, I mean, I don't know anybody's, but I know from watching the show, like, you know enough about Jesse and Darcey just from watching the show that they don't need to be together. So I don't know what Angela was talking about. I guess she was in her feelings, honey, because she just broke up with Michael, so she wanted to say something to Rachel. I don't know. It was weird. Angela actually pointed at Rachel first. If you go back and look, she pointed towards Rachel and Rachel pointed back at her. And then, of course, she got the whole don't put your finger in my face, because where I'm from, that be we about to fight. I'm like, girl, it don't even take all that. Like, Angela, calm down, like, chill out. I feel like Rachel handled it really well, but she's used to handling, dealing with somebody who has a temper that flies off the handle, because her husband is a hothead. So she handled it very well. She held her own without she held her own. Like, Angela didn't punk her. Like, she didn't look like no punk. But at the same time, she didn't feed into Angela's foolishness and take it to a level where it did need to go. So I applaud Rachel for how she handled the whole situation. Once again, Tarik is trying to get Angela to sit back in her seat. She talking about don't touch me. This woman is off it's gone. It's up there. It's out there somewhere. Like, the rationalization is out the window. She has lost it. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's wrong. But something going on it's something internal. It's something up here. Like, it's she up there somewhere. I don't know where she is, but she's not down here on planet Earth, because basically her whole the whole experience with Angela and the tell-all was it just read mentally ill to me. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, something wrong with her. I don't know what, but something's wrong with her. So, of course, when they're talking about Jesse and Darcey's relationship, Jesse wants to come out and defend himself because he's a narcissist, backstage. He doesn't think it's right that they get to talk about him. Meanwhile, he can't be out there to defend himself. So, of course, the producers let him come out there and defend himself. But then Angela stole the show, honey. I don't know. Jesse wanted some more camera time, but Angela took that right away real quick. And that was pretty much how it ended. So, what do I think about these couples? Just to kind of sum up. Tarik and Hazel. I think Tarik is going to bring Hazel to the United States. Definitely. I don't know if they'll stay together for years and years and years, but she's coming here. He's gonna bring her, and I think they're going to get married. Yes. Paul and Karine. I do think Paul is gonna get the DNA test on the new baby. I think Karine is gonna be hurt by it, and I think they're gonna end up getting a divorce. Paul's probably gonna end up coming back to the United States. If the baby is his, which I mean, it's like a 50-50 chance at this point. I think Paul will try his best to kind of stick around for the sake of the baby, but eventually he's going to end up coming back to the United States. Those two are not going to stay married. It's not going to work. Karine is going to get tired of Paul, and it's going to end. Jesse and Darcey, they looked like they hugged it out at the end of the show, and they looked like they were about to go back to the hotel room, y'all. Did y'all see how they was looking and lingering at each other? I think those two might get back together, as much as I hate to say it. But something about how they hugged and said, I forgive you at the end. And then Darcey was looking behind her, looking for Jesse, talking about, all right, good to see you. You sure looking nice. It's good to see you again. Anytime folks start saying stuff like that, that means I'm about to text you when I get in the car and we're going to meet up. I'm pretty sure they probably had sex again after the tell-all. Darcey is just a glutton for punishment, and I could see her and Jesse getting back together. As much as I hate that, I can see it happening. Rachel and Jon, I think that it's going to be a long road for them as far as getting Jon to the United States. I predict that Rachel will end up taking Lucy and moving to England, because I don't think Jon's going to be able to come here. I think that she's going to let the father of the other daughter have custody of her, and I think she's going to take Lucy and they're going to move over there. That's just what I predict, because she's going to get tired of this long distance marriage, because she already don't trust Jon. No, that's not gonna work. She gonna move over there after a while. Give her a year or two. She gonna go over there. Ricky, whatever. Angela and Michael. I actually think Angela and Michael are gonna get back together. I just think that's how Angela is. I think she just blows up, flies off the handle, and then, you know, Michael, all he gotta do is just get her some cake ordered to the house, and that'll be it. They'll be back together. Will they get to the point where she brings Michael to the United States? I honestly don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know if he might not make it, because she's just so bipolar. I honestly don't know. But yeah, so that's my predictions for what the couples are going to do. I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to do a season 3. I haven't heard anything. If they do a season 3, definitely new couples. Please get rid of Jesse and Darcey. Paul and Karine, I'm kind of getting weary on them too. I don't necessarily need a 3rd season of Paul. If they give it to me, I'll take it, but I don't have to have it. I would love to see Tarik and Hazel again and see how their story continues. I would like to see, I was gonna say Jon and Rachel, but actually kind of not. They're kind of boring, but I do love Lucy. So I would like to see an update on Lucy and make sure all the teeth are coming in and that she's just growing by leaps and bounds. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what's gonna happen with these folks, but I don't know what's gonna happen with the show. I haven't heard anything about the future of the show, but like I said, Before the 90 Days is my favorite. I'm sad to see it go, so I hope they do bring it back for another season. But we have so much to look forward to this winter, because 90 Day Fiance, the original version, is coming back next Sunday. We have Love After Lockup coming out in December. Y'all, we have so much good trashy TV coming our way. Like, we just get to be together every week. I mean, one ends and another one picks right back up. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter at NICHI_P_tweets for all my live tweets every Sunday night as it airs live during the show. Thank you guys so much for being patient and waiting on this recap. I know you guys are just waiting till the end of the week every single time, and I love you for it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week for the premiere of 90 Day Fiance. Bye.